Yo, it's your friend Dinner Dog. And Monster Vials from being trash to being pretty good in some situations to being incredible. Oh my god. So Jupiter Climb recently found that you can use Monster Vials to, or you can replace the Monster Vials damage with other properties, in particular bomb weapons, and you can get some ridiculous results from it and honestly optimal fights. So we're going to take a look at what this is in this video today. So we'll take a look at what the Vial Stack is and some of its intricacies, how it changes the meta from some of the items that we looked at previously in this 309 series, something about weapon attacks, that can't be right, and then we'll do some demonstrations, all right? All right, must be a typo here. Anyways, so let's go on. So what's a Vial Stack, right? So inherently we know that Monster Vials are a bit broken, right? When we looked at the previous 309 video, we knew that when we threw the Monster Vial, it's supposed to have like its own attack value, right? Like if you look in the menu, it's like, my fists are doing 30, but the Monster Vial is doing, I don't know, like 45. But then it ends up being that it just does your fist damage, right? So it's always going to do your damage that is your strength plus any attack boost that you have, whether it's an attack potion from rings or anything like that. So it's inherently a broken weapon, right? So using this broken weapon, well, what Jupiter found, and we don't know exactly how it works in the code yet, the decomp project's on right now, you can replace or overflow the damage with another source. In particular, whatever's in your other hand, if you use it while the monster is forming. And that means you throw the monster vial, it breaks, and you'll see like a little like flash, like the screen won't flash, but it'll be like a little like flash animation by the vial. And then the monster like grows or it like spins up, and then it becomes fully grown, and that's when like the hitbox becomes active, like it'll deal damage. So while between the point when you can start seeing the monster to grow and when the monster becomes fully grown, we have the opportunity to replace the damage and to some amazing effects, right? Because we're not just going to change its damage, which like, I've written here as attack value. We're also going to change its hit type. So like if it's so you can do this with like one-time use items and in particular bombs. So if you use the fire boomerang, it would start doing fire damage, for instance, right? Or a shuriken's going to do cut damage, right? And it also steals its area of effect, which is incredible for bombs. So with the one-time use items like a shuriken or like a boomerang, the monster still has to be in the enemy, right? So that's still fairly limiting, even if it does a bit more damage. The real value is bombs, because it hits everything on the screen and a lot. It doesn't or it hits faster than like a neutron bomb or like a bat pentagram would, and you actually see that in the example here with Shaft. That I've got like 4, maybe 5 numbers coming up here with the Spirit Orb, and it's pretty good. Now, Power of Sire hits multiple times, and it inherits that quality as well. So you can see all of these numbers over here, right? It's incredible. So when I broke it down, I saw about 20 ticks of damage with like a pentagram or a neutron bomb, stuff like that. I have no idea how many in Power of Sire. Like I know Power of Sire hits 8 times. If it unleashes it 20 times, that's 160 times. You probably don't get that because it probably can't do like 2 hits on the same frame and all that kind of stuff. But you get a lot, like enough to kill Dracula and Shaft. It's that incredible. Like this is clearly going to kill Shaft here before he even gets a chance. It's incredible. He's just going to die immediately. Okay, so now we know how this bad boy works. When the monster is growing, you hit the button and it works. It's fantastic. It's not difficult. We're going to demonstrate at the end of the video here, right? So this is what Monster Vial looked like before. Very, very cool weapon. And here's what it looks like now. It does the most damage you can imagine. Like it's not necessarily on par with the Alucard shield, but in some cases it can be really like just as useful, if not more useful. Like think about like CV Trio, where like you have multiple enemies on the screen at the same time. You're hitting them all at the same time and just for massive damage. It makes your survivability just huge because it's just the sheer amount of damage. You'll be stopped by nothing, and it's like really easy to activate. It's not hard. So the only reason why this curve exists here is because you should not waste this resource early in the game. It's not worth it. Like you can decimate Shaft with 1 Monster Vial and 1 Power of Sire. Don't like use that on like I don't know like Cerberus, right? Unless you've got a lot of them, or you just have like if you're just getting killed and all that kind of stuff, right? Like, save your resources for all rocks, so you definitely use it there. And second castle in Dracula, where you will just destroy everything. It's really crazy. The for Monster Vial 2, this is what it used to look like before, and it's definitely much better now. So you can get tons of damage from it still. The survivability isn't as good. I find it doesn't do as many ticks as the skeleton does, especially because it's going to be like moving away from the enemy. Unless you're using a bomb, but even if you're using a bomb, the bat's leaving the screen, right? Which actually makes its ease of use lower than what it was normally. Because normally you just throw it and then you get the homing, and now you're not worried about the homing if you're using a bomb. You just need to keep the bad boy on screen. So it's a bit tricky. You're trying to maneuver that around if it's applicable. Or in some cases you can't even do it because the screen is fixed, right? Like if you're fighting Shaft, you can't scroll the screen either way. Okay, so that's how it works there. So the main thing is that we can replace it with use items, including food. Food will make the damage do 0, which Jupiter Climb found out, which is how we came around this newfound tech. Yeah, it's amazing. So like one-time use items, bombs is what you want to use. It fills the whole screen. We'll take a look at it in the demonstration. But before we do that, it actually turns out that weapon specials actually stack as well. And this could be useful. So the unfortunate thing is, because we have to have the Monster Vial in our hand through this whole time, you can't use it with like Masamune and stuff like that. But you can use it for every down to forward special for the most part. I couldn't get to work with Iron Fist or Gurthang. Gurthang's a bit of a weird case anyways, but it wouldn't work with either of those. But I could get to work very effectively with Rapier, Werebane, Alucard's Sword, and the Fist of Tulkas Fireball. Not the other special, because that's a back to forward. I couldn't get those to work, unfortunately. There may be a way to do it, but maybe it's frame perfect. I don't know. I don't know what to do with it. The elemental swords also work, but you get fewer. This is ticks. Oh my god, tickets. It's ticks. You get fewer damage ticks, and it's like, if I was to guess, it's because these specials have a big wind up to start, and so that's probably taken into account. Like, it's probably doing the wind up and applying the damage, doing the wind up, applying the damage, etc. But you do get the element and you do get the damage from it. The fireball and Marcel hitboxes don't transfer the way we would hoped for, though. Like, if you know the Firebrand, it when you go to do the special, it makes this big, like, 8 orbs around you, and that comes in, and all those orbs have hitboxes, but it doesn't seem like that's the way it works with this. And the Marcel has a huge hitbox, but doesn't seem to transfer, unfortunately, and its tick rate is actually very bad. So that's unfortunate. The sub weapons and spells I can't get to work, and it's unlikely that they do. And normal weapon attacks don't seem to work, but it does work with Chrysogrim, although poorly. Like, you shouldn't use Chrysogrim for this. Like, you're just better to use the Chrysogrim. It works with Voltbore and Holbein Dagger as well. And I imagine why it works with these weapons is, like, they're coded probably a bit differently, because you can walk with these weapons. Like, you can move and attack at the same time. So I imagine that works. I couldn't get to work with shields, though, so I don't know. But at any rate, so it does work with weapon specials, and I think there's a case for them. So it's going to get their special, like Rapier's plus 15. Werebane's like plus 40. I think the same with Fist of Tulkas, and like Alucard, I believe, is plus 50. Like, it's really good. They tick very quickly. They tick pretty much as fast as like the Rapier at Werebane were, with the exception that it keeps going, right? Like, it's not just gonna be 6 or 5 or 6 hits, whatever it is. It's gonna be the 20 or 30 hits that we want to get out of this bad boy. So let's, without further ado, showcase how this works. You may have seen this before, but hopefully you've got some good insights from this vid. Okay, so here's how let me bring up the game for myself as well. Okay, so this is just an example one here. So let's throw this out here. We're doing 70s. That does 60, and look at what it normally does. 30s, right? So we're getting more damage per hit out of it. Now, the bat, unfortunately, is not very good at making contact with Shaft, but there it goes. We can start it again as well. Let's do, oops, not this one. Yeah, this one's fine. Actually, I already have this one set with Pentagram. And look at that there. We just make it happen. This won't kill, unfortunately, because then we won't do enough damage with the Pentagram. But it absolutely is going to kill if I redo this. And instead of Pentagram, we put on the Power Sire. Even if it's not going to hurt us, like, hit as much per hit. you just do so many things. Like look at how many of the numbers we got here, right? Like its frequency is just crazy here, right? So we could also do this with oh I guess yeah let's do it one more time here. Yeah, not that one. Where's the one? Here we go. So let's use not Monster Vial 3. I have one for Monster Vial 2 right here. We go. Oh, we did it with the weapon special actually, but let's try it now with where are we at here? Mother's Family Heirloom, all right? Okay. Ah, he's not hitting. Shaft's a bit of a tough one with this. We can use this against Dracula though, and it'll have more effect, or certainly against Aurochs. So for the meantime, let's go and pay a visit to Dad. There we go. Insane damage, and then we'll put on the yellow card sword again, and we'll see how we can cook Dracula with it. And we'll use the actually for phase 1, we'll just use the bat. If we get to phase 2, we'll use the skeleton. Phase 1 with the skeleton and the merman's a bit tough because Dracula's moving around. Phase 2 is a bit easier with or phase 1's a bit easier with the Monster Vial 2. Let's do that here. What do we got? Where are we here? Where did we go? I think it was on this side. Yep, here we go.
Behold my true form and despair!
See, it's getting those 65s there. We can go over here, do the same. Oh, didn't get that in time. And we're getting it consistently. I'm getting beat up around here because I'm not paying too much attention. There we go. Now we can show the same thing. Let's change it up a bit though. Let's put on, Rapier's not as good. Where is our friend? The Werebane. No, the Werebane on here. Let's change this to Monster Vial 3 or 1. There we go. And we'll just wait for Dad to come back here. And look at this here. We're totally safe and we're dealing tons of damage. Actually, that skeleton's not even going to hit there because I placed it poorly. But it will when this moves. No. Do this. Yeah, it's not as good. Oops. It's not as good in phase 1 because you got to be able to set up and then be able to do the damage. There we go. And it's just incredible. So yeah, so that's how this works here. I think in terms of using it with a weapon special, like against Aurochs is fantastic. Other bosses can be great as well if you're, especially if you're already using the weapon. Like Alucard's sword's already really good. And then you can also give it a try with some other places, or even like we showed here with like Dracula and such. Ideally, if you've got a whole bunch of them, even if you're not going to get the additional stacks from all of them, you can throw out more Monster Vials at the same time just to get more stacks or more damage in general, even if it's not stacking. And yeah, like if you have like 20 like of the Monster Vial 2s, even if you get like 1 stack and the rest are just doing your normal punch damage, you're probably going to kill Dracula really quickly. So that's all for this one here. I hope you found it informative. You know, if you happen to find out more things about this, because I'm convinced there's more to be learned, let us know. If you know how this works in the code, let us know as well. Just put that bad boy in the comments, and hope you've enjoyed this. Hope it helps you, because like this is just a ton of damage. It's crazy. Anyways, take care. We'll see you soon.